we've developed a tool that looks at the enablers and the detractors for productivity. And the enablers and detractors are not just about space, they're about technology as well, but they're also about behavior and personal practices. So, as an example, we kind of have a handle on the things you need to do in order to make sure you are in the best shape you can be when you turn up at the office. So are you doing those? If yes, tick. When we get you in the office, are we destroying your performance by putting you into meeting rooms where, you're distracted because you can hear other people through the other side of the wall? You can't get connected to your Wi-Fi or your laptop. You're not with the people you need to be, So we're kind of looking at metrics that embrace a basket of things like that, so that we can actually begin to be a bit clear with people. But the other the one metric that I think increasingly for knowledge-based communities, I think I might have mentioned earlier on, social cohesion, we know from all the research around knowledge-based communities is the most important thing. And it's important because it enables us to have difficult conversations. If we're socially cohesive, we're kind of friendly towards each other, we're trusting. So if we're trusting and friendly, then you probably like to be more generous with your knowledge than you would have been otherwise. But you're very happy to challenge, and we can, through that constructive challenge, we can gain new stuff. And this is not just in a team, but this is across the community. So for me, actually, one of the most powerful metrics is the number of people who you would believe you are friendly with, as a proportion of the number of people that you believe are in your work community. And I think that's a metric that I think is one that you can get at quite quickly. But because I would be, my experience is that if you've got 200 people on the floor, there are probably no more than 10 that you would say you are kind of friendly with, you'll have a coffee with, or
right.
Which is kind of weird, really.
Yeah.
And particularly when we talk about the need to have, communities together, that it's kind of that's an interesting area.
So I wanted to sort of go into that. So say, for example, you're in a situation, 210 people on the floor. How can organizations help increase that so that individual can go to 10 to 15 to 20?
Yeah.
Is there tactics that you've seen at work?
Yeah. Well, I think there are a number of things. So first of all, in the future, I think workplace management organizations should be looking at managing the space, technology, but also the social, taking responsibility for the bringing about of those relationships. So the sort of things you can do are pretty simple, actually. What's wrong with organizing the floor party, events, creating events, not, force people to go to them, but clubs, more networks. So those are some of the sorts of things. There are one or two interesting tools out there, though, that I've come across for basically they're like speed dating. So you basically load all the email addresses of people in your organization, and you say, who do I want to get to talk to who? And it proactively pings you and says, oh, hi, Steve, Andrew, look, it would be a good idea for you and Andrew to get a coffee. So you and Andrew get a coffee, and you feedback that you've had a coffee, and you now start to see that, the spark of a new relationship actually is coming out. And my experience is actually that when a lot of people, given the opportunity, will start up relationships and will talk and will open up, and then that will flourish on the floor. But without that little spark, it never happens.
No, I think that's a tremendous tool. That's fantastic. What's the name of that?
It's actually called Spark.
Spark
collaboration.
No, I'm definitely gonna look at it.
Yeah,
that's
like
pretty
it.
interesting.
Yeah.
And one point I just wanted to touch on before, whenever you were going through what are the sort of measurements, and the first measurement you mentioned was the individual themselves. They have to come to work prepared to work, and I think it's this big thing that's missing from a lot of the communication publication we see. What is the responsibility of the individual? You're employed by an organization. What are you doing every day to come to that office prepared to work and put in your effort? So I think it's great that you you started there.